Hey, you're listening to Innovators Can Laugh, the fun startup podcast. I'm your host, Eric Melcher. On ICL, we interview an innovative entrepreneur in the European tech startup scene every week. My goal is to have my guests share their wisdom while having a little fun in the process. Now let's dive in. Jasmina Gevezieva, kakshi Jasmina, English dash tarahoto.
That's a nice surprise, actually, that you started in Bulgaria. Много съм добре. I'm very good. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, fantastic. So my guest today is Zhasmina Gevezieva, a performance nutrition coach and co-founder of Cardinal Bites. These are delicious protein balls with no sugar, perfect for people who want to maintain their figure. Zhasmina, so excited to have you here. I was going through your LinkedIn profile, and I'm curious because I saw that you were a TEDx speaker last year. What did you speak about?
I spoke about self-sabotages because I have a long transformational story from my personal experience, which is from a person who had an eating disorder and problems with eating to a person who is a national powerlifting champion twice, a bikini fitness enthusiast, a social entrepreneur, which is in the field of nutrition and better for you quality products to consume. Functional products, actually. So that was the story. How I made it from the bottom with a big problem, major problem, which is affecting the quality of life, like overeating, to a person who is experienced in nutrition. And right now I'm studying in Stanford nutritional science. And I hope that I can make it through the selection and everything, because it's a lot of studying, and the grades are really nice right now, but it's a lot of competition and a lot of requests for everything just to make it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it at the time, and if I'm going to make it to the final. But right now I'm studying in Stanford distance program, which is nutrition science.
Okay, well, let's go back here because you mentioned you were a power lifter. As a kid, did you want to grow up and be a power lifter?
Oh, no, I didn't know what is powerlifting 3 years ago, actually. It was really fun because I had some problems with this hernia. I have problems with the back.
In the lower back?
Lower back, yeah, from training with not the proper exercise technique, and to just think what I shouldn't lift that way. And that led to problems with the lower back. And the doctor said that I should not lift anything more than 2 kilos for the rest of my life, and etc. And I should train only swimming and yoga, but be really careful with yoga because I can make something bad for my lower back. So actually, I started with an orthopedic specialist to strengthen my back, and that led to deadlift as a exercise. And actually, I had a dream during my teenage years to compete in bodybuilding, but I've never had the figure for that, the physical form. And because of the overeating, I wasn't with the proper low level of body fat mass, and but my strength was increasing during the time I was training for the deadlift, just to strengthen my lower back. And my strength was increasing, and my trainer said, you can do powerlifting. And I was, what's that? Please tell me more. And he said that squats, that deadlift, and there are 3 exercises in this 3 movements during this competition. And actually, started with that. I trained a lot, I learned a lot, and for 3 months, I increased my strength several times. I started with a squat of 40 kilos, for example, and I did 100 kilos for 3 months, totally natural. And that's called the new beginning. And, when you're underdeveloped and you haven't seen your potential at the beginning, you just see your strength every day is increasing, and that's the new beginning. So I have some strength, but I've never flourish that way.
Yeah.
So that's the condition. And that was the start.
100 kilos is a lot. I do the deadlift sometimes, but I hardly ever put more than, oh, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 kilos on the barbell.
Oh, my deadlift is 120 actually.
Okay.
That was the score. That was the
Yeah.
score.
I've read some articles that say the deadlift is the best exercise for overall muscle because it impacts the shoulders, the back, and the
Mhm.
legs. And if you're going to do one exercise for strength, a lot of people say the deadlift is your exercise. So it seems to be you're really good at it, huh? You competed.
Actually, there are a lot of compound movements. Squat is one of them, and it's really really good for the lower part. Also, hip thrust for gluteus maximus. The third exercise actually was bench press in during the powerlifting. It's
Uh-huh.
a really good compound exercise for the upper level of the body.
Yeah.
So my advice is to train both compound muscle exercises and isolated exercises if you want to
I-
for your body to have some hypertrophy. Actually, when I'm training, because right now it's really chaotic. It shouldn't be that way. I'm not proud of that.
okay.
But the way I train when I train for bikini, for example, and just to I entered this competition mode. I train 5 times a week, and the muscles as big muscles that are days for muscle. These are shoulder day, back day, gluteus day,
Yeah.
leg day, and
Every day
at the end of
something.
the month because it's really important for the bikini.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it.
Last question
And
about the last question about your experience doing this before we dive into Cardinal Bites and some other stuff here. Has this ever happened to you where you're in the gym and some guy's in there, he's trying to impress you and he thinks that he's lifting a lot of weight and then you go and you add more weight on the barbell? Has that ever happened?
yeah, actually, yeah, and they don't like me. Yeah, and it was pretty fun because at one time I just saw a guy who is lifting a lot of weights, and he didn't lift them in the proper way, and he's going to make an
Injure. He's gonna
injury.
inch. Yeah,
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 yeah.
and I went there and I just showed him the proper position, and he was like, "You're a girl. Wow, why are you embarrassing me that way?" And I was just trying to help. So they don't like me very much because of that, because they're embarrassed. But that's fine. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving anyone advice if someone is not asking it for me because they're just embarrassed.
Yeah, no,
That's
I would imagine they would be. Okay, so I was also curious because I also saw that you were a brand ambassador for brands like Lenovo, Lidl, Walmart, and a few others. How did you become a brand ambassador for these brands?
Oh, it's pretty fun actually. That was around my powerlifting and bikini and sports career, which was 2019, so not that long ago. And
Okay,
they just recognized me as a person with a lot of will, motivation. I had a big news campaign here in Bulgaria,
okay,
in all the national media. So they just recognized me. I was recognizable because of that media exposure.
got
That
you.
was for Walmart and Lidl, and for Lenovo, that was around my career as an entrepreneur at the beginning because one client of ours of Cardinal Bites was in a really nice position in Lenovo. And he said that he liked our product, he liked our fast growing development, and they're looking for ambassadors who are embodying that values of Lenovo, which is innovation, creativity, flexibility, and he just needed a businesswoman who is a recognized one, who is a startup entrepreneur in a fast growing business, which is also with a big media exposure. So we're pretty popular here. I had an interview actually on Monday on our biggest television here, which is going to be live next month. So it's called BTV, that media
Yeah.
company. So we have interviews actually every week, for example, or every 2 weeks. So yeah, we're just in the news. We're trending as a
Okay.
brand.
All right. Well, let's jump to Cardinal Bites. What do
Mm.
customers get excited about when they first try them? And what are they? Can you just tell the audience a little bit about this?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking here if I have some, but I have only the bonbonniere right now to show you. This is the bonbonniere. This is Cardinal Bites. It's pretty cool inside because it's eco-friendly luxury gift box. But as a whole, Cardinal Bites we produce protein temptations with no added sugar. Our first product and flagman product is protein balls. They're with no added sugar. They're with signature taste, which are made for us. They're protected in the patent of Bulgaria for its uniqueness.
Mhm.
We are the first protein balls on the Bulgarian market. Gluten-free, lactose-free for most of the flavors. No trans fats, no artificial, I'll say intelligence, but no, no artificial
I
sweeteners and
yeah.
ingredients. And the whole point of the company is to transform temptations to protein innovations and just to eat sweets
Yeah.
because I love sweets. And most of the women, for example, are craving sweets and do not feel guilty when they consume them. Just to eat sweets, stay in shape, and
Yeah.
move to the next task of your day with a free mind.
Yeah. Every night, my wife and I, we eat chocolate. You know, we tell the kids no candy and we put them to bed and then we break out the chocolate for ourselves, right? But this is
Wow.
becoming a bad habit. So I feel like maybe we should try these. And because they're healthy, maybe they could replace the chocolate. And so we won't feel
Actually, our
guilty.
next product is chocolate. It's protein chocolate and it's with no sugar, not
Okay.
just no other sugar. It's with no sugar. And we just want to have the most functional chocolate, which is totally guilt free. And yeah, that's our next product that we're working right now at the moment.
Oh, I'd love to try them. I'd love to try them when they become available. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, soon.
Okay, so the first Cardinal Bites, did you make them in your kitchen or did you have an idea and you told somebody, a chef about them? And how did you experiment to get where they are now?
Yeah.
Final product.
Next one, actually, that's the second option. That's the right guess. I'm not a chef. I'm not a cooker, and I'm not really good at that. But I love sweets, and I'm also in the fitness industry,
Yeah.
and I know the problems. I know what I'm seeking for, looking for, which is to have high quality protein, no added sugar, reduced calories, for example, and to be tasty.
Yeah.
So that's the basis to just to eat some sweets and feel happy about it. So that was the start. It was like a brief and what's on the market, what I want from a product. And a friend of mine at that time, she's a pastry chef and she became a co-founder in the beginning of the company. And she realized the first flavor, which is cockroach and maclop, and it's protecting the patent office of Bulgaria, as you already know and I mentioned. And the next two flavors, which is hazelnut chocolate with orange and goji berry, and
Sounds good.
white chocolate it is,
Yeah.
and white chocolate vanilla and fig. So these two flavors, they're made by MasterChef finalist, who is also an overall bodybuilding champion, Balkan champion here. And yeah, he did the second and the third flavor.
Yeah.
And with that flavor in the kitchen made, we just hired the good technologists, food technologists, and we went to our production facility to do the fine tuning and do it in a mass scale. So that's the traction for the flavors.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, now have you taken on any investment? And if so, what was that experience like to get your first investor on board?
Yeah, we have investors. It's pretty new actually. Our valuation to March this year was 1 million level, which is 500,000 euro, and we had a pre-seed funding of 10%, which is 50,000 euro for that. So yes, we have an investment. Before that, and we actually received it this September. So for 2 years and more, 2 years and 2 months, and we're totally bootstrapped. And it's our money with our partners. I have a strategic partner who is the ex general manager of Mondelez,
Mhm.
Bulgaria. And Mondelez is part of Kraft, is one of the biggest food companies in the world. It's that's Milka, Oreo, Toblerone, Sushard, for example. So Cadbury. So the general manager for Bulgaria, she's a partner of mine, and she possesses 20% in our company. So that's the team, but it's totally bootstrapped until now.
Okay.
And so right now we are scaling with our next products, with the national distribution and potential export.
How are you getting the product to market? Any specific tactics that you're using to get stores to display the product and sell it for you?
It's pretty traditional in our case, and in most cases, actually, at least in Bulgaria, we just have a distributor who is a big one. It's the first bio distributor in Bulgaria. So this is a 15-year-old company which recognizes us as a really good product, innovative product. So right now we are in 200 and plus locations in
Okay.
Bulgaria, mostly in Sofia. This is made for 3 months, last 3 months.
Okay.
So we're increasing with around 50 new locations per month.
Okay.
And we are right now in all the big green shops in Bulgaria. There are several green chains,
Okay.
bio shops. So we are there.
Okay, how does that work? Because I don't know. Does the distributor say, we'll market your products to these stores, we'll get them in the stores, but if they don't sell, or if the stores don't, if they're not selling, then we'll no longer be your distributor. I'm just from a very high level. How does that relationship work?
They take a really nice percentage for them,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so we sell them at a lower price for the distributor.
Oh,
And
so they're
there's
like a
still,
wholesaler. Okay. Okay. You're like, okay,
yeah, yeah,
wholesale price.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
That's it. And actually, our product is with 1 year, 1 year duration.
Yeah.
Yeah, the product. So we don't have um, garbage. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's a pretty long duration. So it's nice. It's rotating very well, actually. So yeah, that's
Okay.
the
Has,
process.
okay, now has there been a time in your life, and it doesn't have to relate to Cardinal Bites, but has there been a time in your life that you thought you were onto something, but it turned out to be totally wrong? Maybe you had a really good business idea and you pursued it, and it totally turned into, it was unsuccessful.
Um, Actually, I haven't failed the business yet, but because I have two businesses,
Uh-huh.
I haven't failed, but they have transformed. For example, when I started with my previous business, which is called Binge Off, it's helping people with binge eating problems, with overeating problems. I'm a qualified nutritionist for that. What I saw is that when you have problems with eating, which are eating disorders, I don't have the right to advise people for that because I'm not a medical doctor or I'm not a psychiatrist, and it's part of it's part of the law. It's the health law here. So what I did is to pivot the positioning pretty soon, actually. I just, from the moment I hired an advocate for that and he told me I'm doing something wrong, I just pivoted to helping people to strengthen their healthy relationship with food. So I'm not talking about binge eating. I'm not talking
No.
about eating disorders. It's just about sustainable eating habits.
Okay,
So
so
that was pivoting.
Okay, so let's pretend, for example, I had a problem with food. I reach out to consult with you. What would be like a typical plan for me? What would you tell me or advise me?
Well, it's case by case, but first of all, we have a conversation which is around 30 minutes for your specific daily life, your specific problems, struggles, etc. But if we have a nutrition plan, it's totally individual. It's for your macros, your calorie needs, your purposes. We don't label foods as good or bad, for example.
Yeah.
It's all about moderation. It's really good if you want to track your food at some point. Just if you want to be accountable to someone, for example, me as your trainer, I should see your food at some point. It's easier if you use applications and just I have a direct view of your food with the application. There is Fat Secret, for example, is one of these applications, and I just see your food at real time. So you don't have to screenshot me anything. Also, if you just take a picture of your food, if you don't want to track, that's also reliable, and and so it's okay for tracking. So it's all
Yeah.
about the individual plan, and it's about your food preferences, your goals, your metabolic state, your way of life right now. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of calculations, actually. There's formulas for that. There are formulas how to calculate your protein intake, fiber intake. So yeah, that's it. That's the how to say it, the way to go as an example.
Yeah.
We did a lot of we do a lot of self-help exercises once a week. I send a lot of educational materials. So people are the ones that I'm
Yeah.
working with, but they're just increasing their food education at the same time.
Okay. It sounds like you're so much more than just a nutritionist coach, that you're actually really making a positive impact in your clients' lives here. Last question before we go. This is sort of a fun question. You're going to fill in the blank on this one, okay? Jasmina, the question is, instead of flowers for Valentine's Day, you would rather receive blank.
Protein balls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Protein balls. All right. Jasmina, thank you so much for being a guest on Innovators Can Laugh. It was a pleasure having you here.
Pleasure having this here. Thank you very much for the invitation one more time. And
Yeah.
I'm available for any next time if you want.
Yeah. I'll
Just
include
feel free.
thank you. I'll include the links to Zhasmina, where you can get in touch with her, and Cardinal Bites in the show notes for everybody listening. Thank you so much. Tell everybody else about it. That's how we grow. And until next week, keep hustling out there and have a great weekend. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review and star rating. Also, don't forget to sign up for the ICO newsletter at innovatorscanlaugh.com, where you can get the bio and details of each guest. Thanks.